everybody. I just wanted to welcome you back to my channel. I want to do a TBR prompt jar. I've seen a lot of people do this and it helps you to pick books off your shelf that you need to read. I don't have a ton of books, obviously. I usually borrow as much as I can to save money because I'm a very fast reader, but I do have some books that I've bought at our library for 50 cents that I've had on my TBR for a while, as well as a couple books that I've borrowed from friends that I need to read. And I'm going to also include some Kindle books that I have from Kindle Unlimited that I want to read and get to as well. So this is including a bunch, and as well as like some audiobooks that I want to get to. There are some books on my shelf that I still have not read, and I'm going to include that as well, but I didn't take everything down because they're on display, so I'll just let you know if I pick one of those. So what I'm going to do is I made a jar of TBR prompts that I got offline, and it's pretty full. I probably should have put like a lot less, but it's fine. And I'll just probably leave those out and not use them for the next time, and then just keep until the jar is empty for like the next several months. So then I'm going to roll the dice, and that's how many TBR prompts I'm going to pick for this month. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so I got 7. So I'm going to pick 7 prompts, and I'm going to have to pick from the books on my TBR with these prompts. So let's see what it is. All right, so the first one says, read the last book you saw on TikTok. That one's hard because I'm not sure if I have a book that I've seen recently on TikTok, but I'm going to look through my Kindle Unlimited library and I will insert a picture of what I chose for the TikTok recently heard about. All right, so then the next one I'm going to pick is a book with a moon on the cover. All right, let's look here. Not sure if any of these down here have a moon. What I might end up picking is the Crescent City because I have been wanting to read this book. It's been on my TBR. I have put it off because, well, one, it's very large, and because it's the last book in the Sarah J. Maas series, and I've been so excited to read all of her books, but once I read these, there's no more left that I have to read. But she does have her 3rd one coming out this month, so I could get started on this, and I want the 3rd Crescent series in paperback, which they only are going to be releasing hardback for a while, so I've been kind of just waiting and taking my time so that I wouldn't have to wait as long. So I think I'll go ahead and pick this one for the one with the moon, but I am very excited to read this because I've heard nothing but great things. All right, what's the next one? All right, a book inspired by the last game you played. I already know what I want to pick for this one. I loved the Inheritance games, and I just got the 2nd book from the library, the Hawthorne Legacy, I believe is what it's called. I'll put a picture up, and so I'm going to include that as inspired by my last game I played because it reminds me of Clue, and that is the last game that we played. We love Clue. All right. A book that has been on your TBR the longest. Let's see. You know what? I've had this on my TBR, I think since college or high school. I got it from Ollie's. I love Lynn Austen. She is a Christian historical fiction author. She writes a few others, I think. Some she even writes based off of like biblical characters. So this has been on my list a while. I loved her Candle in the Darkness series. I read all of those and love them so much. Highly recommend her if you like a Christian historical fiction. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is the longest just because I think that most of these I've recently bought in the last few years. So this one I've carried around for a while and just never got around to it. Okay, so number 5. Read from an author you've never heard of. Okay. I'm gonna say this is one that I've been wanting to read. It's short, so I can add it to my large list of books. And I have never heard of Elie Wiesel. I know that lots of people talk about this book, but I've never read from him. So I'm gonna read this one for an author that I've never heard of. Okay, I have one last one. A book that has won an award. I'm going to pick Gone with the Wind. I don't have it with me currently, but I just ordered that book and I had planned on reading some classics this year. So I know that's won awards. So I'm going to include Gone with the Wind as my book with awards. I think that's it. I'm going to read these and the Second Inheritance Games, and I'm going to read Gone with the Wind. I hope this gave you some ideas for picking some books off your TBR. This was fun. I think that I'm going to like doing this each month and try to get rid of some books. I usually only read a book once and then I donate or give to a friend. So I'm trying to get some stuff off of my bookshelf. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys another time. Bye. Okay, so I just realized that I rolled 7 and I only picked out 6. I'm a new recorder here, so sorry. Okay, I'm going to pick a book that is published this year. I am reading a book by Sally Hepworth called The Darling Girls, and it is publishing this year. And so I'm going to put that picture up here, and that'll be a review on my next video. And I'm going to include that as a book published this year because I do not believe that any of these would count. It's January, so there's not really any books that would have been released within the last few weeks. So that's going to be my 7th book in this TBR challenge. Thank you guys for watching.